Sarah Rae, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are rebranding our true crime video. No longer will they be true crime and makeup. I sat down and really thought about what I wanted my channel to be and who I am. And I came up with 3 words: rock, therapy, and tea. You may not know this, but this Italian loves her tea. So now, that is the slogan of our channel: rock, therapy, and tea. So I said, no longer will this true crime videos be called true crime and makeup. Maybe you're asking, what is it going to be called then, Sarah? Well, I'll tell you. Crime Time and Tea. That is our new title for our true crime videos. I hope you will find more me and my personality and who I am within my true crime videos, because that is all I want, is you guys to have me in all my videos. So that's what the change is all about. I hope you guys are excited about that as much as I am. So welcome. Today, in the case we are talking about, is a missing persons case where a 17-year-old lied about being in one place and went somewhere else, and a macabre turn of events took place and she disappeared. Her name is Brittanee Drexel, and this is the kind of case that is going to keep you wondering. So you don't want to miss this one. Let's jump straight into it. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications of when I upload, and let's get talking about this case. Alright, I hope you guys are ready with your tea in hand. I know I am. I'm drinking some Earl Grey. What are you guys drinking? Let me know in the comment section down below. And let's jump into this. Brittanee Marie Drexel was born October 7th, 1991 in Chile, New York, which is a suburb of Rochester. And she was born to Dawn and John Kahaliu when they were just teenagers. And they separated not long after this. And Dawn and Brittanee stayed in Rochester, where John went to Tampa, Florida, losing all contact with Brittanee. Not long after that, Dawn would meet and marry a man named Chad, and Chad Drexel would end up legally adopting Brittanee. Also, Dawn and Chad would go on to have 2 kids of their own, named Marissa, who was 11 at the time of Brittanee's disappearance, and Camden, who was just 5 at the time. Brittanee growing up was quite energetic. She was full of life and a very bright young girl with a big future ahead of her. She had a pleasant childhood, and she went to school at Gates Chile High School, where she studied cosmetology. In fact, she was also a star player on their soccer team. When she was 16, she reunited with her biological father, John. She also kind of decided she wanted to be one of 3 things when she grew up. One being cosmetologist, the other one being a model, or a nurse. Her family said she was just a great kid. That was until her family started getting cracks in it, and Dawn and Chad were filing for a divorce and were separating. At this time, Brittanee was 17 years old, and it was 2009. She did not take this well, like all of us do. I don't think any child takes divorce well. She actually started skipping school. She rebelled against her parents. She even OD'd twice due to the struggles she was dealing with in life and even the problems she was having in her relationships. So spring break was coming up for Brittanee, and her being a junior in high school, she just wanted to go to Myrtle Beach. I think that is pretty much a lot of people's thoughts, either Myrtle Beach or Florida. And Myrtle Beach is a very big tourist place, especially again for spring break. But what you don't know is it is also the third most dangerous city in America. When Brittanee went to ask her mom if she could go, her mom said no, due to the way Brittanee was acting out and the fact there would be no supervision. Her mom even stated that something could go wrong, something bad could happen. That's when Brittanee came up with a plan, which she actually executed. She went to her mom and asked if she could stay at a friend's house instead of going to Myrtle Beach. They even went as far as having one of her friends act like their parent to talk to her mom, to reassure her that there would be supervision and everything would be okay. So Dawn ended up saying yes, and while Brittanee's mom sat there thinking that they were headed to Lake Ontario in Monroe County, they were actually packing a car to take that 14-hour trip to Myrtle Beach on April 22nd, 2009. They arrived April 23rd and they stayed at the Bar Hotel at 1010 North Ocean Boulevard, which is the main strip in Myrtle Beach. Everything's on that main strip. So Brittanee was dating a guy named John, and he knew she was actually down there the whole time. And so she kept him informed on everything they were doing, and they talked constantly. She also called and texted her mom, telling her fake plans, and she kept up the charade the whole time she was down there. While Brittanee was there in Myrtle Beach, she loved it that first day. She loved the weather. She loved how freeing it was. She was able to forget all the problems she was having at home. They wasted no time, her and her friends, partying and having fun the moment they got there. Everything was great until the next day, on the 24th, the day before she would end up going missing. So Brittanee's friends would hang around the drug scene, and Brittanee wasn't really into that. So she started doing things on her own. She would do things like going to the beach alone, going to restaurants, and that's not very safe for a 17-year-old to do, just going off alone in a city for the first time. I also need to note that Brittanee was very trusting of others and very kind. Normally that's not a bad thing, but, well, let me give you an example. Later that day, she was on Ocean Boulevard getting catcalled. And she walked up to the stranger and asked him if he would walk her back to her hotel, which he did, and she even invited him in. That, you don't know what this guy could do. He could be very dangerous. You never know. Unfortunately, we live in that type of world where you don't know who you're talking to. That's a very dangerous thing, especially at her age. But she was very trusting. Anyways, she also ran into a friend named Peter, and he also lived in New York from Rochester, and he was staying a mile away from the Bar Hotel at a hotel called Blue Water Resort. And they spent a little bit of time together, and they decided to make plans the next night so they could catch up. Brittanee and her friends decided to go to a nightclub called Kryptonite. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive, and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman might. Kryptonite. Saturday, April 25th came, and Brittanee spent some time with her friends at the beach, which was not far from the Blue Water Resort. She had a phone call with her mom, which unknowingly to the both of them would be the last time they would talk to each other. Tea break, sorry. Brittanee kept up the ruse that she was still at a friend's house. So when her mom asked her what she was doing later on that night, Brittanee told her that they were going to hang out for a while and then go to a friend's house, watch a movie, and then Brittanee said, "I'll see you tomorrow, I love you," and her mom said, "I love you" back, and then they hung up. Later that night, she texted her boyfriend John that she was leaving the next day and she was headed out to hang with Peter. So she grabbed her friend's shorts off the bed and headed out. The cameras at the bar hotel caught her leaving and heading in the direction of the Blue Water Resort, which, remember, they are a mile away from each other. So cameras at the hotels and on the way to the Blue Water Resorts caught her getting there safely and about how long it would take to get there. Brittanee didn't stay long at Peter's because the friend who the shorts belonged to wanted them back ASAP. So the cameras caught Brittanee leaving the Blue Water Resort. So about 10 minutes after she left at about 8:58 p.m., Brittanee sent a message to her boyfriend John saying that she was just gonna go pack up and just head to bed for the night. And John responded that she should go out. It's her last night there. She did all of this just to go down there. She shouldn't just go to bed. She should go all out for that last night. But Brittanee never replied. 10 minutes after that, John knew something wasn't right. Brittanee doesn't just not respond. Then 30 minutes go by, still no response, and he ends up texting her, "Hey, look, Brittanee, if you don't respond, I'm going to tell your mom everything, where you really are." Trying to, scare her into responding, but at this point, 9 a.m. rolls by and all contact with Brittanee is lost. Brittanee's boyfriend John calls Dawn and told her everything. And Dawn didn't exactly know what to do, so she called the police. But Rochester police really couldn't do anything because this is happening in a different state. So John called a friend who lived in North Carolina to file a missing persons. And the family and John all got in a car and drove that painful 14-hour drive to Myrtle Beach. I can't imagine how it would have felt in that car, knowing that you're headed to this place where your daughter is, but for some reason she's not responding and that something's wrong. I just can't imagine. By the time they get there, it's the 26th, and South Carolina police starts their investigation, and they just figure Brittanee Drexel, she's some teenager who's there during spring break. She probably ran off and she'll come back. But that would not happen. The first lead police would follow is Peter and his friend. Except when they go to talk to Peter, they would find that he left early that morning at 2 p.m. after seeing Brittanee without their deposit, and half of their stuff is actually still in the hotel room. It's like they just left really fast. The police did manage to find Peter back in Rochester, and he actually got himself an attorney, which I know what some of you guys may be thinking, and it's exactly what a lot of people did think and probably still think. They're pointing the guilty fingers. I need some tea. But don't think that. It's actually very important that he did that. A very good thing he did that, because, and it doesn't mean that he's guilty or not guilty. No matter what, if something happens and there's cops involved, you better get an attorney, whether you're not guilty or guilty, because we've seen so many times where police twist things and end up sending the person to prison because they sat there and thought, oh, I'm innocent, I'm untouchable, but then in the end, you're the one in prison with 25 to life. I mean, look at West Memphis 3. No evidence, nothing, just hearsay. And in the end, one of them was on death row. So getting an attorney and fully cooperating is very smart, and that's exactly what Peter did. Peter told the police everything, and his story checked out. His story was that Peter and his friends left in a hurry simply because they actually weren't supposed to be down there either. So they left because one of the friends' moms found out and they had to get home in a hurry. After that lead didn't pan out, they went back and started looking at the cameras and Brittaney's phone pings. The police gathered that it took Brittanee 15 minutes to get from the first traffic cam to the Blue Water Resort. So, when she left the Blue Water Resort, it would have took 15 minutes to get to that first traffic cam. So they waited, looked at that 15-minute mark. They never saw Brittanee. So then they focused on her phone record. The police found that around 9:27 p.m., 30 minutes after Brittanee sent her last message to John, her boyfriend, that her phone pinged 7 miles south of Myrtle Beach. And the rate it was moving shows that it had to be in a vehicle. Then at 11:58 p.m., 2.5 hours later, her phone shows that she was 50 miles south in Georgetown. After that, her phone either died or was turned off. The thing about this whole going to Georgetown, the direction the phone pings took straight to Georgetown, which first of all isn't a tourist place, it's actually a rural area filled with alligators and boar infested pits and lands. It's a place that you don't just go to or know of, especially like back roads. It's a place only people that live there know of. You don't just go straight there too, especially if this is your first time there. You don't know of that place. So that's very suspicious. The police teamed up with 3 other counties and they went to Georgetown, but they came up with nothing. It wasn't too long until they came up with few persons of interest. However, the police did change Brittanee Drexel's case from a missing persons to a homicide. Everyone worked so hard to try and find something, anything to point them in a close direction to answer what happened, even following down empty leads, but with no evidence or clues. The case ended up going cold. 7 years later, in 2016, there was some big movement in Drexel's case. A prison inmate by the name of Taekwon Brown sent a letter to law enforcement saying that he saw Brittanee and had some information. His information was that he went to a stash house, which was in McClellanville, because he owed money to a man named Deshawn Taylor. And Taekwon had to cross through this stash house, which is where he saw Brittanee being assaulted by multiple men, one of those men being Deshawn Taylor, Sean's son. I know a lot of names, I'm sorry. Taekwon also said that once he got outside with Deshawn Taylor, Brittanee broke free and ran outside, where a bunch of men, where all those men came running out and grabbing her, bringing her back inside. Deshawn Taylor allegedly went inside, where Taekwon heard 2 gunshots, assuming that Sean killed Brittanee there. He said that as he was leaving, he looked back and saw those men bringing out something heavy rolled in carpet. Upon hearing all this, investigators agreed with Taekwon Brown that they probably took her body to a place called the Pit, which is an alligator infested swamp. I also want to add McClellanville is in Georgetown. Georgetown is kind of like a county. Now, on June 8th, 2016, FBI confirmed that their belief is homicide after being held captive for 4 days. So, Deshawn Taylor is a major person that is connected to this case. You heard his name just a little while ago. Let's talk a little bit about him. Deshawn Taylor denies all of it and even claims that he doesn't even know Taekwon Brown. He also has an alibi for when she went missing and when she was allegedly killed, which one of them is that he was at school during that time. And the police actually say that these alibis held up. Police also gave Deshawn Taylor a polygraph, which I want to say that polygraphs are inadmissible in court, so take them the way you want to, but also remember that they're inadmissible. However, I did read multiple different sources. Some say that he failed, others say that it was inconclusive. Take that with how you want. They also found that 2 people that Taquan Brown named was there during the assault of Brittanee was actually in prison at the time, which made the authority kind of question the authenticity of Taquan's story. Because you also got to think about, Taquan stepped forward 7 years later, when he was just put in prison after being sentenced to 25 years. And now some inmates do come forward because they do have information. And when that happens, you bargain years off. Knowing that, some inmates will make up information so they can get less than years off their sentence. So, knowing that, you also have to take this story with how you want. You know, like, is it real? Is he just messing people's names up? I don't know. Now, back to Deshawn. When it came to Brittanee, he was actually interviewed, and I will be playing a small portion of it. The part that I'm wanting to tell you about, that's the part I'm going to play. But he was asked about witnesses, and Deshawn says that he's pretty sure there was no witnesses, and then quickly changes it and says, no, I know that because I've never seen her before. The thing that gets me is the tone and the quick change, like almost like he slipped up and he didn't mean to. I don't know, just watch it yourself.
There are witnesses who are not in jail, other than, I assume, this Taquan Brown, who have told them that they saw you with Brittanee. What do you think of that?
If it was witnesses, then it would have been brought to the attention and they would have highly spoke about it, but I'm pretty sure there's no witness. I know that there's no witness because I've never seen her and I've never been with her.
The police searched a few stash houses in McClellanville. The main house that the inmate talked about where she was at time up empty with any DNA, but they did find Brittanee's DNA in a different stash house. The police think that maybe she was taken to be possibly trafficked because that area is known for that. There's also a $25,000 reward in place for any information that can lead to the whereabouts of Brittanee or who took her. In March of 2017, the FBI searched Foxfire Court in the same area, Georgetown County, McClellanville. They searched with heavy-duty equipment, digging up holes in the huge areas, which makes you think they had to have had something of significance, right? They had to have some reason to be looking there. They had to have something, but they haven't said if they found anything of any significance. So, you know, they keep a lot of things like to themselves because they can't expose all of their cards, because then that person that took her would know that they're onto them, you know? But let's go a little back in time. In 2012, her dad went to McClellanville to pass out flyers to keep Brittanee's face out there and to try to get some information. He ended up going and passing them out to different cars where he had to stop this one car because it was trying to drive past without getting a flyer. So he stopped it and he went around to the driver's side and went to hand them the flyer and asked them if he's seen Brittanee Drexel. There was 2 people in the back of the car giggling and laughing and goofing off about it. It made him feel very uncomfortable. The person in the driver's seat took the flyer, crumpled it up, and tossed it out the window and left. This guy Brittaney's dad felt like was the person who took or killed Brittanee. That person who was driving that vehicle is allegedly, I can't confirm it, so I'm saying allegedly, but they all 100% believe is Deshawn Taylor. And that's pretty much where the case sits. Now, there is some things I do want you to know, and one of them being Deshawn Taylor had an accident when he was a boy, which led him to have his left arm amputated. So that's kind of why they figured out that the driver was Sean, but was he able to kidnap Brittanee on his own with one arm? I don't know. So then that makes you think, did he have help? Also, I'm wondering, why is all the focus on Deshawn and not Sean? If the inmate's telling the truth, he said Sean pulled the trigger. So why isn't there more focus on Sean? Or equally on both of them. They both have a lot of criminal records. 1 month after Brittanee disappeared, Sean, the dad, was arrested for attempting to kidnap a 20-year-old outside the Blue Water Resort where Brittanee went missing around 4 p.m. A van came up stalking this woman, and 2 men went to grab her. She actually elbowed one in the face and ran off, which, props to her, that's incredible. But that kind of makes you think, is that how Brittanee was taken? Before I wrap this up, and I know I say this a lot, but this is another one where I can't wait to hear your thoughts. But first, I want to share with you the quote that is on Brittanee Drexel's memorial headstone. And it reads, "When the world gives up, hope whispers one more." That is so beautiful, and I get the feeling that that quote embodies who Brittanee was on the verge of becoming. She would have been 30 years old this year. So I want to say that Brittanee, she disappeared April 25th, 2009, which April 25th is coming up. So I hope you guys will think of Brittanee, will think of Brittanee Drexel. Say her name, tell somebody her story, share her picture. You never know who will see it, and maybe that person will have that information that'll help this family learn just what happened that night. You never know until you do something. That's all from me. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the Taylors had something to do with it? Do you think she's still alive and maybe just was trafficked? Or what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Also, I want to remind you guys, please be kind in the comment section. I doubt the Drexels will see this video, but if they do on any chance, remember that there is a possibility the family could see your guys' comments, so please think about that when you are typing up anything. So again, be respectful. If you guys have any cases you'd like me to cover, please email them to me. My email is in the description box down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys stay safe and well. Your guys' rest of the week. Thursday, you're going to have a video on fibromyalgia. Saturday is Def Leppard Saturday, and Sunday is some Cinderella. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.